Hello folks, we've got the canoe today, we've got the hot tent, the wood stove. We're gonna do some early winter camping on an island. It should be fun, stick around. Quite shallow here. It's maybe only 1 or 2 feet deep. I could almost get out and just line the boat, but I think it's too muddy for that. Yeah. It's just stunning in the early winter with the first snowfall. Everything looks magical. What I like about this route is it starts on this easy meandering river, so you can get your sea legs, so to speak, if you haven't paddled in a while. Get the feel for your boat before you go out on the open water. But doing it after the first snowfall, when it's below freezing, adds another dimension of risk. It's still simple paddling. Ooh, big rocks. It's simple to paddle, but capsizing would lead to severe trouble. Maybe not right here because it's so shallow, but later on. In shallow Canadian Shield territory like this, you need to look out for big rocks that are hidden in the water. Bit of a dam here. Sun feels nice. I was actually hoping it would be a bit colder because it's right around freezing, 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit. So everything's going to be melting and wet. But we've got plenty of gear. We should be more than comfortable. This is where the water opens up a bit. It's just a beautiful day. So calm. Snow is just trickling off the trees as it melts. Gorgeous. Now, even though it is calm, do need to be a bit careful. Can't afford to flip, but there's very little risk of that right now. This place looks majestic right now. Incredible. This is an amazing island. So good. Here's the gear we're hauling. We've got the hot tent, a bag with a sleeping mat, extra clothes, a bit of food, cooking items. and the wood stove itself, a ground tarp, center pole, an extra paddle, my main paddle. That's about it. Oh, and a shovel. Let's not forget a shovel. This is a 14-foot boat we're using, made by a company in Quebec called Esquif. It's a material called T-Formex. Similar to Royal X, but I think the next generation of that material. So it's pretty light and very durable. Not nearly as light as Kevlar or a fiberglass boat, something like that. But since it's only 14 feet, it's still a great solo boat. We're using the taut line hitch, the ABOC 1857 version. You can check out my other video if you want to see the different knots that are often called the taut line hitch. And this naming confusion sometimes gets people angry. So that video aims to clear it up. People get so worked up about the names. Names are important for communicating. If you're learning knots, you need some way to refer to a certain knot so you can look it up. But beyond that, once you know it, all that really matters is the knot itself. We're hitting rocks here. It can be difficult to drive stakes in the ground in the shield because you're often hitting actual granite. Let's extend that line at the back. Nice and spacious in here. I'm gonna try to not step on this tarp with these boots. The wood needs to be maybe 4 or 5 inches longer than this saw. Ah, it smells so good. Piney. Ah, I knew I had my hood up for a reason. Not the best firewood, but it'll burn. Reversing the X when it gets jammed and doesn't split can sometimes work well. That should be a good amount of firewood for a comfortable evening. Now I just need to put some snow on the snow skirts around the tent to seal it up, and we should be good to go for the night. I'll give you the quick tour of the tent. Wood pile, wood stove. This is a heat-powered fan. It helps circulate the air. This is my sleep system. I'll set it up more precisely later. It's a down sleeping bag and a pretty thick sleeping mat, which is plenty for this temperature, even without the stove. So I'll just let the fire go out later and sleep comfortably in this. I think it's time to start a fire. Some birch bark to kick it off. And everything is wet, so I'm gonna split something. Maybe I'll cut this in half and then split it down into little twigs because the center of it will be relatively dry. It's about the only thing that's dry in the woods right now. This saw is enormous. The silky big boy. This is a really straight-grained piece of wood that I found as well, so that's a good candidate for doing this. We'll do the log cabin method. Probably my favorite way to get a fire going. Maybe I should save some of these for tomorrow morning, but I can just do it again in the morning. I'm gonna put a little bit of birch bark in the center. Oh, and within minutes, it's too hot in here already. Gonna have to go outside soon. I got the rest of the sleep system set up. I'm gonna make some dinner and just enjoy this warmth. I should mention, I always have a carbon monoxide detector in the tent. Safety first, kids. We're keeping it simple tonight. Going with the Indian. With some Uncle Ben's. This stuff is inexpensive, pretty tasty, really simple to make. It's good if you just want to be lazy. There it is, the trusty titanium spork. Oh, it's getting too hot in here again. I'm gonna at least open the door and close the flue a bit from the front. I think tonight I'll just eat some dinner, be warm in this tent, and probably read a bit. I'm reading this novel right now, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Have any of you read this before? It goes into some pretty philosophical rants, which are kind of half-baked sometimes, but also profound at other times. I don't know, it's good so far. think I'll make some tea after this with some water from the lake. It's a good way to just clean the billy pot as well, boiling some water in it. And tea is delicious. It is snowing out here. That'll look nice in the morning though. Let's not slip on the rocks here. I brought the oven glove. Usually I just use a shemagh as an oven mitt, among many other things, but we're smoothing it today, so brought the little things. Oh man, I'm boiling hot, actually sweating just from sitting here. I gotta get down low. It's a little better. It's another tricky thing with the hot tent is that heat rises, so it's extremely hot above the stove, and just below the stove it's a bit cool. That's why a lot of people use cots, because you're raised up where it's warmer, but I am just roasting right now. Gotta open the door a bit more. That's your other ventilation option. Wow. Fire is hot. Who knew? Woo! I think I'm gonna read for a while and retire, and we'll see what we get up to tomorrow morning. Caught these 3 birds this morning on the lake. Huge white birds with black beaks, it looked like. Some kind of swan, maybe? I'll have to look that up later. Maybe some kind of Arctic swan? Not sure. Beautiful though. They make a ridiculous honking sound. So maybe they were geese. Some more northern kind of geese that I'm used to seeing. Amazing that they just love this frigid water. It's below 0. And they're just happily floating around. Instant oatmeal. Needs a bit more water. There is a fire pit here. So I'll leave my extra firewood for the next guy, even though the next guy won't be here until May or something. So a good 6 months from now. Looks a bit stormy today. The wind's a little higher and it is supposed to snow, but the water still looks very calm. I might try to explore some of this lake before I head out. There are those birds again. Maybe I'll go see them. Try not to scare them off. I love that rock face right there with the snow powdering it. Just epic. Oh, they don't want anything to do with me. They're our friends again. Not much to say, really. Just speaks for itself.